Yeah, fine on my end.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We've arrived here in Italy, in Scarperia at San Piero, at the Autodromo Internazionale del Mugello. We've arrived here for the second GP2 test, the first time the OC has ever gone to Mugello. And I'm your commentator, Robert Ionescu. Today, I'm being joined by Joseph Willows. I'm sure you know him. So, hello, Joe. How are you doing?
Yo, everyone. I'm doing great, thank you very much.
Awesome. So yesterday it was a very close session, but in the end Dennis Graf was the fastest, but just 4 thousandths in front of Ben Wallinger. So yeah, lots of drivers doing good. Very good first impression for Graf on his GP2 track debut. But now we've arrived in Italy, and I can't wait for a second test.
Indeed, considering it's a track that we've never actually been to before as well, so it'd be very interesting to see. I do believe this is the 2008 version of the track because the 2020 version of the track is currently in development as we speak. So yeah, that's that at the moment. But yeah, looking
It's
forward
not
to it.
like any corners are different, but yeah. I'm sure we've all seen what happened in real life in the Tuscan Grand Prix, but even if you didn't see that, there's been so much MotoGP action in here, so many memorable moments, and we can't wait to have just a little bit of memorable moments in GP2 for the test. Who knows, maybe it'll be voted as a race later in this year or maybe another year, but we'll see.
Who knows? But as you can see, the weather, it looks like they maybe rain towards the end, but we'll have to wait and see if it wettens up.
Just a little bit though. Chance is like 10% or so, I'd say. But anyway, it's time to get going with the session. Also, welcome everyone in the chat. It's really good to see you. Hope you're all feeling excited as Joe and I am for today. And here we go. An hour on the clock and it started. Looking at Henry Watzel.
Yep, in the BWT Arden. I should point out as well, I've done a few adjustments with the Arden as well, ever since there was that little alpha channel issue on the side pod. So hopefully that issue has now gone away, but still the pink car, of course. And hopefully they'll be able to have a very good session.
We can certainly hope so. But we'll see. There's so many drivers. Everyone wants to have a good session, of course. We got a car going out. It's the Ardens. It's Kyle Burns first. And Watzel second. No, not Watzel, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Out on track they go. The American, the first to come out onto the track as they make their way down towards the first corner now then. And it does appear like the issue has now gone away. So it's a good job that the alpha channel has now disappeared. So as they make their way through turn 3 now then, looks like they're going to do a little bit of slipstream in the Ardens.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, there aren't so many straight lines you could actually use on the circuit. But there is one pretty big one where they hit the record speed over MotoGP. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if F1 actually beat that, but that's.
Yeah, I don't think so. These things have way too much dragging downforce.
That's a good point. As they make their way up the hill where Lance Stroll had his accident, considering these are pink cars, they'll be hoping the same doesn't happen to them during this test.
Yeah, you'll be right. Right about that.
Through the right-hander we go now then. Obviously, new lineup for Arden, of course. Obviously, gone is the KFC colours and in is the BWT colours as well. Pertamina, if anybody wondering, has now gone to Prema, and they have a KFC sponsor on the car, if anybody noticed that, because I didn't really see anyone really notice that, to be honest, in the chat. So there is a KFC there is a KFC logo on there. It's just on the Prema now, not on the BWT Arden. There's this side-by-side action going on between the two BWT Ardens as they
let's get the lap going. Into San Donato they go, and Burns is holding position. Now up next into Luco, into Poggio Socco, up next. Poggio Secco, sorry. Left at Materazzi and now right in the Borgo San Lorenzo corner. Now down around towards Casanova, turn 6, the famous turn 6. After Casanova will be going to Sarelli. And now the most famous corner of the track, the Arrabbiata. The first Arrabbiata, here he goes, almost clipping the curb. Onto the second Arrabbiata. Good exit there for Burns. Now next into the Scarperia. Into Palagio. Up next is turn 12, Correntaio. A good exit there for a flat out section. Which is the Biondetti corners. Biondetti 1 and Biondetti 2. She'll be entering now. Biondetti 1 and now into Biondetti 2. And only one corner remains, turn 15. The very, very long Buccine. And we'll get a good run into it. Exit is critical out of this corner. Careful on the track limits though, there's gravel. And good exit for Burns. He's gonna complete his lap, but what time is he gonna set? Here comes the American across the line. Watzel's beat him. But just a little bit. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I was just chatting to my brother there. You just interrupted me.
All right.
Anyway,
my main friend has got fastest.
And that goes P6 there. Fosbury P3.
Chatfield smashes it absolutely, but Bennett goes very close in the Trident.
1-2 for Trident at the moment. For Derry goes into 5th. Zolga P1 in the new Sauber livery.
Before Curtis beats him.
Indeed. As down the straight we go. Only P10 for him. As Anderson goes P6 there. Max Skillen, what can he do? P7 for him as P5 for Adventure. Graf, the man who topped yesterday's testing session, goes P13.
Unlucky.
And McCarthy now, then P19.
What
Zorbach
about
in the
Zorbach?
manor livery. And Suarez takes P9. So that's the order at the moment. McCarthy 2 seconds off Curtis at this point in time. So an Irishman lead with an Irishman bringing up the rear.
The field was much more congested yesterday in Silverstone. Everyone except the last car, which was Bennett, was within a second. But now, only the top 7 are within a second. And P22 is 2 seconds off the pace, so yeah.
That could be down to people being held up, like Watzel here, for example, being stuck behind his own teammate at this point in time. And
Yeah,
as
not
a
doing
result,
each other any favors. Both failed to improve, and Watson
It's
will be
quite-
fitting, actually.
it's quite tough to pass here on GP4, but you can get a bit lucky, like Watzel could here. No, you can get a little bit lucky, though, if you are able to get alongside quick enough into turn 1.
Yeah, now we're looking at David Kupak, who I believe is behind Zorbach. As Fosbury and Bernack have improved, and Bennett has also improved. He's going to third. But Kupak is being held up by his compatriot and losing time. Burns will be staying out, unlike his teammate.
By the way, he goes up to 4th place there for the... trying to remember what team he's at now. He's at the same team as Dennis Graff, isn't he? So that'll be MP Motorsport, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Marcelli went 15th, still in 11th. Adventure goes 5th, fastest.
As Kupak
Graff
goes flicked it right to the right there, like you see in Formula 1. I don't think
Zorbach has gone 15th.
As McCarthy gets out of last place, but he's second to last, so Fashri now at the back. So it's now under 2 seconds. Now the whole pack is covered by at this point as they make their way through the flat-out left and right-hander. You saw Juan Nguyen in the background there in the Mercedes liveried damned car. Of
And now into Buccine.
Obviously, of course, Nguyen inheriting that Mercedes livery from Campana now that he is the Mercedes test driver. So Naturally, yes, indeed. As now Burns does not improve, but because Watsel's not
Just
behind
barely.
him, because Watsel's now not behind him now, we should be able to get him probably a quicker lap in.
Yeah, I could say that again. I agree. I think Burns' run won't be that compromised this time around, but Skillen might be holding up a car behind him, even if he is improving.
Absolutely, it's coming out of the chicane there. Skillen holding up the Russian time there, and it is Adventure as Curtis improves on his lap to a 1:27.497. So he's now 3 tenths clear of Balenciaga in second place at this point
Very
in time.
impressive lap from the Irish rookie.
Indeed, as we cut to Carl Burns now. Flat as he goes through this corner. Skillen goes up into P9 now for the Rapax team.
And Burns into Arrabbiata. We're now looking at Skillen, P9 for him. Graff has gone 15th.
As Zorbach goes into 16th there, his fellow compatriot. So the man who obviously topped yesterday's session, not having the best of seconds here at Mugello. Suarez goes 11th in the dams.
Burns, I think he's on an improvement right now. So watch this space. He could still get a few positions up. I think 2 or 3 places maybe. At most 3. Out of Buccine corner he goes. Next is critical, like I said before. And here goes Carl Burns, flat out on the power.
Let's see if he can improve in the BWT Arden, and he does, but only up to 19th. So the Arden's currently 19th and 20th at this point.
Curtis is being held up by someone. I think it's a Rapax or a Charuz, maybe.
I think it's a Charus, actually. Yes,
yeah,
it is
looks
a
like
Charus.
it. But which one?
We'll have to wait and see as they come down the straight. Could it be his fellow compatriot, Chuck McCarthy, by any chance? Well, it's flicked into the pit, so we'll never know. But
well, we'll know now because the pit indicator will turn on any second. As Burns still on another lap, he is improving once again in the first sector, just a little bit quicker, half a tenth.
Behind him at this point in time as we ride back on board.
13th.
Burns again on an improvement, but still 1.3 seconds off Curtis in the middle sector. So clearly Burns not up to scratch here in Mugello.
Very wide out of Correntayo when Kyle Burns there. Can he have a good third sector? Meanwhile, Burns definitely not having a good sector right now. He's being impeded all the way by that Campos. As Burns is finishing his lap.
The stream is on, Lorenzo. It didn't go down. I think you just need to refresh the page or something.
Burns goes up another place. He's up into 18th fastest.
Ardinger goes up to 12th there in the Prema car. It's now through turn 1 we go.
Barrett finishing his lap as the Campos, I think, is pitting. Yes, it fitted. And Barrett fails to improve.
Under
Not much
50
of a
minutes.
surprise.
The 50 minutes to go in this session. Bennett going through turn one. The Welshman will be hoping to have a better season in 2018 after a few frustrating moments during the 2017 season. As his teammate Chatfield there had a little bit of a moment coming through the right-hander there.
And speaking of last season, Chatfield was looking very solid. He even led the championship at some point, and I think and he won a race. Not sure which exactly. I think it was Hungary where he took his first victory, and he was in the championship fight, but he dropped off towards the end of the season. Still, I think he finished 5th, so Chris Chatfield had a good season. Hopefully, he can go a few places better for his sake this time. Burns isn't improving this time around, meanwhile.
Absolutely. It's now he makes his way down towards the final corner. It doesn't look like he's going to be on an improvement at this point, but he could pull off something. As meantime, Galloway is on the other BWT Arden, that being Henry Watson, who has come back out onto the track. Side by side go the two Brits. Galloway, can he just get himself just about alongside Watson? Just looks like...
No, he can't. His lap is ruined.
Yep. So not good there for fourth place man Galloway, the 2016 Formula E champion, formerly known as Sepp Prixel, of course, for anybody wondering.
Yep. Burns, he's been staying out very, very long on this stint. Hasn't been in the pits at all ever since he went out.
He won't do on this occasion because he still hasn't got the pit indicator on his death panel.
Yes, you're right, Joe. Now here he goes. Into Castanova corner. Into Savelli. Zorbach was trying to overtake the Mugello.
Oh, he's gone off. He's off.
He's crashed!
He's crashed.
Zorbach is crashed! Oh my goodness. That's a big one. That is a big one for Nicolas Zorbach, and hope he's okay from that contact with the barrier.
All right in saying that's the first crash we've had during preseason testing.
Yeah, this Guff had a little bit of a spin, but it doesn't count as a crash. But still, another German in trouble today, and it's Nicolas Zorbach who's crashed over in Bucina corner. Yellow flags, of course.
And it looked like he was going for a pass there on the Charus there, but I saw he just puffed up the tyres a little bit too much there, as you could see, locked up, and that just sent, and he just understeered off, and the back just went spinning around, and that was the barriers.
Yeah, the gravel gap, very vicious. No way for him to actually get back on track. And the only way he could go from there was the wall.
Because in fact, McCarthy was trying to pass there, and he was coming into the pits this lap. He was very lucky not to get collected in all of that, to be fair.
Totally agreed. It was a close call from McCarthy, but Zorbach wasn't so fortunate.
It seems like the memories of 2017 have come back to haunt Nicholas at this point.
Yeah, I could say that again. Now Galloway, his lap has been compromised, but can he overtake Watzel this time?
On the out, unless he can get his nose ahead, I don't think he will, given that Nate. Oh, he has this time. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Burns staying out for another lap as Wallinger has improved into 12th place.
Galloway did what I thought he should do, which is try and get his nose in front, which would have given him the track position, given how the nature of that DAT file down into turn one for Mugello. It's a bit weird. It's a bit like some tracks on this game anyway. It's a bit like trying to think of one track in particular.
Curtis is trying to pull an overtake now in San Donato, and we're not going to see if he passes or not. We'll look at Burns.
I think he was just about to be able to, because I think he just got his front wing in front of the dams there. So, yeah.
Either way, that dams impeded his lap quite a lot. So I'm sure he'll be happy to be clear of him.
Absolutely, as they make their way up the hill now, then towards turns number. In fact, I've got it. I've got it up here. What am I doing? It's turns 10 and 11. He's just gone around there.
And now towards Correntayo, the end of sector 2. He's off the pace by 3 tenths compared to his best, and the lap compared to the leaders, 1.6 seconds. Surely this will be his last time lap before he pits next lap, I assume.
Yeah, and in fact, no, he didn't actually get past the dams there. We're now looking at this these two who were having a little scrap down the pit straight. It was Suarez and Aprema. And clearly Suarez stayed in front going down into turn one there. Galloway gets up to second.
Impressive lap.
Yeah. After passing, finally passing whoever that was he passed, It was
Watzel.
Watzel, wasn't it? Yeah, Watzel.
Yeah.
He's managed
Maybe
to
use a
finally
little
get
bit of that
himself. Oh, we got
slipstream.
a. Oh, surprisingly enough, we've actually got a pass into the final corner.
Yeah. Very long
It goes up
slipping
to
right-hander.
third.
Burns gone third, yeah. A left-hander, sorry, not a right-hander.
I mean, I'm surprised about that because every time I've gone GP4 races off stream, that is, with the 2020 mod I had made over
Another
the
overtake. Curtis
2019
finally
mod,
through.
there was never really any overtakes through that final corner, which amazed me. So that kind of caught me off by surprise, that did.
Yeah. Burns
We look,
has had the longest stint of all as Curtis coming to the pits actually after completing that overtake.
yeah, so kind of a pointless overtake in the end, it must be said.
Yeah, Fosbury goes 13th.
As Bashere is stuck behind Zolga at this point in time as he just loops around the right-hander there. And Carl Burns we look at again. It seems that the camera
Savelli.
really likes Carl Burns at this point.
Yeah, and that wasn't Savelli corner, my apologies. And yeah, Burns just a little bit off, a tenth and a half or thereabouts. Now I got a big squabble here for position.
Very big squabble as they make their way down the straight. There's bound to be an overtake here and there, and we'll never know how that one ended.
Burns is finishing his lap. He's still going. Incredible.
Yeah. He clearly has a lot of fuel left to burn as well, but clearly the tyres aren't quite there for him as Valdinger tries to make a move on one of the Campos. One of the Campos drivers there. Couldn't quite make it stick as makes his way up the hill. Carl Burns, again, the camera likes to pan towards him as Suarez goes up to 7th in the Dams car.
Yeah, the other cam really sure seems to love Carl Burns so far.
Far indeed, as Chatfield now then stuck behind Zolga's Sauber liveried Russian time.
The man he battled to victory in the Hungarian Grand Prix was an incredible fight. Chatfield, Zolga, and Bennett. I remember that race fondly. It was very nice. And in the end, Chatfield managed to hold off Zolga and prevent him from winning at home.
Absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see if we will see any more battles between the pair of them during the course of the season. So Burns makes his way to the right-hander there.
Now here goes Chatfield. Across the finish line he's going to go. Side by side with Zolga, fails to improve. Bashere improved. He's back with 10 to second. They're still in last place.
Yeah, so not really much celebrated. There's an overtake there, and that's one of the Carlin cars getting by. I'm going to presume it was Tomaselli.
I think so, yeah. Now looking at Beranek, I think his lap has been compromised. Yeah, absolutely, but he's overtaking the Prema.
Yeah, as through the right-hander we go, as the Prema actually gets by him there. So at least he doesn't have to worry about the Prema impeding him anymore.
The Prema held position actually, Joe, but yeah.
I thought the Campos was in front.
For just a split second.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's not really.
Burns continues his run. Very impressive stuff. How long he's going. They're getting some long run pace, even though we'll probably not be racing here. Unless you guys decide to vote for it, of course. Now Hwang Min Nguyen is finishing his lap, holding up a few drivers here.
And it looks like it's going to be free wide again, going down towards turn 1, and it is looking like it's going to be free.
Okay. Alright. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that problem earlier, but we're looking at Kyle Burns now. Yeah, sector 2.
Yeah, it has been fixed. We are back live.
Alright. Now Burns. Into into Biondetti. On the run towards Buccine. Bashari has improved. He's gonna out last place up into 17th.
And now then coming down the straight, the question is, will he actually pit at the end of this lap this time by? And, yes, he will this time.
Yeah, his run is finally gonna be over as Beranek went up to 18th place.
As through turn one we go now then. So far for anybody who's just caught up in the chat, this is what the leaderboard looks like. Curtis top, Galloway second, Bennett third, Zolga fourth, with Adventure in fifth, Chatfield in sixth, Suarez in seventh, Anderson eighth, followed by Kupak ninth, Skill in 10th, Nguyen in 11th, Valding 12th, Posby 13th, Zorbach 14th, Videri 15th, Graf in 16th, Fashery 17th, Beranek 18th, Tomaselli 19th, McCarthy 20th, Burns 21st, and Watzel in 22nd and last.
Yep, that's right. Thank you, Joe. And will we get any more changes to the leaderboard in the next few minutes? I'm sure we will. But Kyle Burns' run is going to be over. Hopefully he can... I assume he's going to go for a different fuel strategy next time around. I'm sure he's got some productive data.
As they make their way through the right-hander, as I'm pretty sure the camera will finally get off Burns as soon as he... there we go. In fact, we get to this little group there as somebody peels into the pits there. Chatfield trying to have a look at Zolga down the straight yet again.
They've been racing for quite a while.
He probably hasn't got the move done into turn one there.
Yeah, I assume not. Suarez is 2.5 tenths off in the second sector, now into Biondetti. Only Buccine left for him.
Making their way into the final corner. And I don't think he's going to be on. I don't think he's going to improve on the lap because his def panel is red. But unless he pulls something out.
Sector 3 is too short to actually get something big in here. And he loses a lot of time actually.
Would have had to have pulled some kind of miracle. It must be Stephan's Graf has got somebody right behind him at the moment. You can see him defending going into turn 4 there.
And Bucky in like, this lap.
Yeah, I think it's one of the Charouz cars that's behind him at this point in time.
Arabiata 1 up the hill. Arabiata 2 blind apex right-hander, an amazing corner.
And in fact, it was a Rapax.
Yeah, he's trying to overtake desperately, I guess. McCarthy's improved. He's in 20th place, which means the Ardens are second last and last. Not good for them at the moment, of course, but everything can change. As Zolga peels into a bit. His run is complete.
As we see the gouges, which are painted in the same way as Ferrari. Of course, Ferrari do own Mugello, as we know.
Yep. Held their 1000th race. It didn't go too well for them, but at least Charles Leclerc had a good start in it, so yeah.
It was also the scene of where we saw that massive pile-up on the safety car restart, but into turns 2 and 3 we go. Max Skillen as he's pitting at the end of this lap for the Rapax team, and so far not absolutely. So not at the moment, not much improvement going on at this point in time, but maybe we'll see some improvements a little bit later on in the session as the track starts to rubber in. Through the long right-hander we go, and obviously Skillen going green at this point, but it's going to be irrelevant for the Scotsman as he is peeling into the pits this time by with just over 37 minutes to go in this section. And so far, Curtis currently top by 2 tenths of a second ahead of Jake Galloway.
Curtis wasn't quick yesterday, but he's more than made up for it today. He's looking very impressive.
Absolutely. But, trying to get something up on my end. Mo.
Now it's going out of Buccine. Feeling right, and he's going into the pit lane. It's a weird pit lane entry on this mod, I have to say. Not weird in a bad way, but still.
Well, it's weird in real life, to be fair, because it does flick to the right very quickly. It must be said when you're coming out of that fast left-hander. That's why we saw a lot of people locking up where the pit lane entrance board was. So the pit
Especially
limiter
Kimi
board was.
got himself a penalty for it.
Yeah.
Now Galloway's going to be finishing his lap. Out of Buccina he goes. And I don't think he's going to be improving. He's right on the death panel. We'll see now. And Galloway quite some way off the pace.
Still P2 at this point in time, though. So far a good session for Galloway.
Agreed. Curtis has come in.
He has indeed.
And fun fact, yesterday it was MP Motorsport in P1 and the Prema in P2. Today it's a Prema in P1 and MP Motorsport in P2, so roles reversed, I guess, but both teams are looking very solid.
Maybe a sign of things to come, probably less likely given how exciting GP2 has been over the last 3 seasons, it must be said, since Flo took control of the series.
Yeah, it's been very unpredictable.
Yeah, and looks like we could be expecting another classic season like that again. So I think it's best, because obviously you went through the driver lineup yesterday, we might as well go through the calendar as well today.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 13-race calendar, for anybody wondering. Next week, we're going to be at Bahrain, which will be the opening race of the season. Then we will be returning to Baku for the first time since 2015, after Flo has sorted out that pit entrance glitch that was there in 2015, which saw that photo finish, actually, between Gabriel Gomez and Turavi Alteranon.
Yeah, we had that red flag with a famous meme review period in the break. But it was a very fun race, also chaotic back then when we last raced in Baku. I can't wait to be back there.
Yep. Then it will be Catalonia, Barcelona for round 3. And then it will be a 2-week break, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is a 2-week break due to no racing happening during Monaco and, of course, the Indy 500, which I'll have to find out from Yuri when that opens up. I presume it will probably be the weekend, if anything. And... But then afterwards, it'll be the first voted race. Obviously, the vote for the standalone races is still going on at the moment. If you go onto the GP2 2018 playlist, and if you are a GP2 driver, of course, you can vote in that to determine what the 3 standalone races will be.
Philly and McCarthy have improved just now.
So after that first standalone race, it will be a 1-month break due to Christmas and New Year's. And then we'll be back on the first race of 2021 for GP2, which will be at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. And I bet Nicolas Zorbach will be hoping to have a good race there, seeing as he likes the track.
Absolutely.
Round 6 will be at Silverstone. Then it will be Hockenheim. Of course, that will make a return for the first time since 2016 due to the Hockenheim and Nürburgring alternating, although that comes to an end at the end of this season. Nürburgring hosting, well, at the time we thought its last race, but given all the news that's come about recently...
yeah. But we're not sure if it will be on the 2020 calendar just yet.
Well, not just that, but also with the fantasy car performances, who knows if it will make a return in the future. And after Hockenheim, it will be the Hungaroring, then Spa-Francorchamps, and then Monza, and then a week break before the second standalone race, then another week break before the final standalone race, and then another week break before the finale in Brazil. Now, the difference between Brazil this time around is, unlike in previous seasons, the finale is actually going to be happening a week before the top class finale. So,
so that the drivers have a chance to actually fight for the top class seats in the final race too, because it could make a big difference.
It's basically been done in a way to make the sign-up process a lot more easier for GP2 drivers competing for top seats, basically. So that's why Brazil is on a week earlier than the top class.
Up to 9th place.
Of course, wanting to ensure that Sao Paulo was still the finale for GP2.
Russia is of the calendar. It's not that big of a loss.
Yeah, and also what people may have noticed as well is the calendar has gone down from 14 races to 13 races. So back to what it was in 2016.
Yep. So one less race, but we'll still have the same excitement, I'm sure. As Mangmin Nguyen is up in 12th place. And Anderson is starting a lap. So would you like to commentate for the lap, Joe?
Oh, it looks like somebody's going to overtake him. Well, I was going to say that, but we've now cut to Huang Nguyen now. We're just
the man who's just improved.
Let's see if he may be able to improve on this lap as he's approaching the end of Sector 1 right now. See, coming out of Sector 1.
San Lorenzo and then towards Catanova.
He's on an improvement, 800th up.
Savelli and now heading towards Arrabbiata. Critical corner for lap time. It's almost, I think it's flat in the F1 cars, obviously not in these ones, but Nguyen pushing hard
Believe it is, yes.
into Scarperia and next Palagio, which will be the end of Sector 2. Up next is Correntaio corner. He's up, but not that much. I think less than was on the first sector. Now Zolga is finishing a lap side by side with that Chatfield.
I think that is the same over as Chatfield. So yeah.
Now I'm going out of the last corner out of Vucine. Needs to keep it straight. Don't get too much wheel spin or anything. And I'm sure he's gonna be able to improve. It'll be close, but here he goes. Across the line goes the Vietnamese driver. This is out an improvement actually, but just a tiny little bit.
Lost a bit of time in the third sector there, as we've got this gaggle of cars going down the straight. Anderson side by side with one. So Zorbach's now coming into play. Obviously now in the spare car as a result of crashing the other one earlier at the final corner.
And don't forget, guys, at the end of the session, we'll be asking the fastest guy at the end of the session if he can join us for an interview. If he's not available, then any one of the drivers who wants to join us for an interview, they can just ask us in the chat, and we'll be glad. But yeah.
Look at Nguyen again, looking like he's on a better lap, but of course it's all about that sector 3, given that he lost 200, I believe it was, from his personal time in the last sector.
And now Palagio, as we're looking at Bennett. He was the one racing Zolga this time, not Chatfield, so a little bit of a break for Zolga, I guess, racing Chatfield this session. But now Bennett, I think he's got him on the exit of Buccine. Wallinger 9th.
So we've ride back on board with Hoang Minh Nguyen, well, only briefly. Thomas Bennett, again, not able to pass Zolga. Looked like Zolga was able to hang it around the outside, but can Bennett get him into turn 1? Nope. He's just gonna,
no. And I was looking at Nguyen. He was on a big improvement, I think, so when he crosses the line, I'm sure he'll go up a couple of places.
Don't think he has, because oh no, he has now. He's gone to 7th.
Yep.
Right on board.
Back at Chatfield.
Right on board. This is the first glimpse, of course, of the Cheroot. Of course, we saw a bit of it yesterday, but we never got a close-up look at it. I do apologise if you hear my dog in the background.
And a big fight here. Skill and strength for an overtake on that Carlin. Has he got him out, San Donato? No, not quite. And into Luco. As Hoang Minh Nguyen is on another lap. Burns back on track. He's not improving so far. Big gaggle of cars here, all of them being held up by Isaac Fashere.
My dogs have finally stopped barking. Sorry about that.
It's alright. Out of Savelli they go, into Arrabbiata. I can't race wheel to wheel here. But oh my gosh, where Lance Stroll had his accident, if I'm not wrong.
5-car scrap going on here. This isn't racing, boys. Come on.
Well, I think we're going to have to tell them that again, because I don't think they're listening to us. Anyway, here goes Skill on the end of the second sector. Of course, he's not improving, because he's being held up behind the Carlin.
At this point in time, yeah, it's now through the quick chicane we go, the flat-out chicane, as looks like as they're all going to stay line of stone. They could be even catching up to the ART in front.
I'm sure he's spitting, I think.
Is he? Let's have a look.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
here goes.
There goes the other car that went in the pits. Is more side-by-side action. If he can actually pull it off, I don't think he is. Nope.
Nope. McCarthy on a lap.
Now Nguyen finds himself stuck in traffic behind a Rapax this time by. He's stuck behind, I believe that looks like David Kupak, if I want to say.
Has to be, because Gunn was with the others.
Now we look
there
at
he is. Yeah, the compost driver. Off the pace right now, obviously. Fosbury goes into 9th place. Same lap time as Suarez, actually.
Absolutely. As McCarthy, is he going to improve? Nope, stays in 20th for the Charouz team. And making the way down towards turn 1.
Burns into the pit, meanwhile.
As Graf goes up to 15th place there for the MP Motorsport. but still not up to the pace that he was yesterday at Silverstone.
And they're catching that car in front. I think it's a Charouz. And
It's an ART, and considering that
Yeah.
Fosbury improved a little earlier, I think it's Thomas Anderson that closing up. His Adventure goes up into P5, or has he just improved? I'm not 100% sure.
Guren fails to improve, obviously, behind that racing the Rapax. Is he going to try overtaking? He's going to box in this lap into San Donato. That is stuck to stay behind. It's McCarthy didn't improve in Sector 1. Let's see in Sector 2 now. Into Scarperia and into Palagio corner. And out of Palagio. Clean run to Correntaio. It's a critical corner for lap time. He's not improving. He's in the red. Kupak, we're looking at him. Into Borga San Lorenzo. And on the run towards Casanova. Casanova, the downhill right. And the downhill left of Savelli. We're going to the double right-hander. Uphill Arrabbiata. Arrabbiata 1. Arrabbiata 2. David Kupak. I'm not sure he's gonna improve, but we'll see. And speaking of not improving, McCarthy's gonna go across the line. I don't think he's gonna improve, but time to find out. And now he doesn't improve by 2/10 of a second.
I remember as well with David Kupak, he has actually got Huang Min Nguyen stuck behind us. Now this has become a 5-car train again because Anderson has now slipped back into this group as Graf
Graf 11, just behind Wallinger. Rivalry, I guess.
Baranek will be out of this train soon because he's coming into the pits this lap.
Yep.
Adventure goes up to 3rd.
He's definitely constantly improving. Great lap there. As Baranek is pulling an overtake into Buccine. He's gonna be boxing.
So pretty much a pointless overtake in the end for the Czech driver.
Yeah, but despite the traffic, he was in the green. So clearly some more potential in that Campos.
Absolutely. As we look at McCarthy.
Where is he at the moment? Oh, he's heading towards Correntaio. Careful on the exit. Don't take too much curb. It could upset the car and throw you into the grass completely. But you have to be brave because this little chicane is critical. Get it flat and it'll be all good. Get it wrong and you'll lose a lot of time. Now it goes into Buccine. Out of Buccine, McCarthy. Will he get to improve this time? Can he get into a better place in the top 20? No, he can't. He'll be boxing.
Yep, currently P20 at the moment is McCarthy. Teammate for Dairy in 18th position at the moment. So not the best of sessions for the debut in Charouz Racing System team. As Fascia Race currently stuck behind someone. As Zolgi gets the checkered flag, so he'll be finishing off very
That's
soon.
very early, but he has it, yes.
But that don't necessarily mean he's
Venture
going to...
second place.
P2 then for the pole driver. As I was saying there for Zolgi, don't necessarily mean he's pitting at the end of this lap. It's just next time he pits, that will be the end for him, basically, because that's how GPX works with these things. Fascia is green, but given that he's been held up there by the Trident, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not going to be able to improve now. Zorbach goes up to 15th place in the Campos.
Yep. Also, remind me, please, because I didn't actually watch the qualifying. Who got pole position?
It was Franco Lopez.
Wow, impressive.
First pole position for Franco Lopez, followed by the 2 Ferraris. And and Joel Hotter got 4th place in the Red Bull. 8th place only for Miklos Gal in that session.
Wow.
Jay McKenzie, very impressive 6th in the Renault. Volker P5 for Mercedes. Roland Motran, the best Hungarian, in 7th. And riding out the top 10 in the Williams, Felix Sontag.
Wow.
Yep. It was a very entertaining qualifying session, it must be said.
Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And then we're looking at Benz Waldinger. Way off in Sector 1, he has traffic. More drivers with checkered flag, including Burns.
Bennett's going off! Bennett's going off!
Yeah, it's gone wide! Careful on the rejoin. What happened there?
It's like he
It's
just locked
Scarperia,
up
I believe.
in the corner. He just locked up. You just saw the puff of smoke coming off the front right tyre there.
Yep, and it cost him. But at least he let Fascia go.
No contact between the pair of them. It was just a pure driving error from Thomas Bennett there, clearly pushing a bit too hard. But currently the Welshman sits in 4th place. His teammate Chris Chatfield in 6th. So far, good day today for Trident.
Yeah, much better than yesterday, I have to say. So I will be happy with that, despite this tiny error.
And as a result, it means he's now 5.8 seconds off in sector 2 due to that little error he just had there in turn 10.
Yeah, hopefully didn't put too much dirt on his tires. We can still get some good data on this set.
As he makes his way through the final corner, Zorbach stuck behind Nguyen at the moment, the Mercedes test driver, as Chatfield now has the checkered flag next to his name. As does
And he
McCarthy.
overtakes Zorbach.
Look at this.
And Nguyen as well. Incredible move from Chris
Why not? He's
Chatfield.
still side by side with Nguyen.
I don't think he completed actually into Luco. I think Nguyen stayed ahead.
And all still side by side.
Just barely. Now here goes Zorbach trying to make a move.
Not able to at this point in time.
Yeah, it's difficult to pass into Materassi corner.
This Adventure currently stuck behind. I think that's one of the Prema cars he's currently stuck behind at this point in time. We'll have to have a little look, and it is. Which one? I can't quite tell. I'm going to presume Abby Allen Curtis.
Well, it's a 50% chance you're right, so I'm not going to comment on that
yeah.
further. Anyway, here goes Nguyen. I'm sure he's not improving, and he's not improving over second off the pace. Or his own pace. Now here goes Adventure. He's gonna box in this lap, and now he's trying to overtake the Prema.
And it looks like he's got the job done, and he has.
Yeah. Nguyen holding position. Watts has gone into 17th. So Burns in last place.
Adventure's now got the checkered flag next to his name, so he'll be finishing off very soon.
Yep, he's just gonna box.
That's now Nguyen.
Chatfield failed to improve there. His session will be done.
Zorbach is also finishing very soon as well, along with Nguyen. But they'll still have a few more laps before they pit, which will complete their day. And there's perhaps a few more now getting checkered flags. Baronek's just got it now, as has Valdinger. And
we'll be asking Aaron Curtis, assuming he stays fast until the end of the session, of course, if he wants to join us for a commentary. But if he's not available, then once again, anyone in the chat who wants to join us for a commentary, for an interview, sorry, not for commentary, feel free to ask us, and we'll be glad to have you. Hello, Nicolas. Welcome to the chat. Hello, Rahul. Looking at Chris Chatfield. Quarantine for the final time.
Chatfield will be peeling into the pits, and that will be his session done with.
Yeah.
Because he has, of course, got the checkered flag next to his name. And looks like Graf has now got it as well. So, and now has Curtis. So P1 man's also got the checkered flag next to his name.
Watts has improved even further.
So there's now Videri, in fact.
So a little switcheroo there, but Andy Videri is back in front of Watzel. As Chatfield is done for the day. I expect Nguyen will be done too, very shortly. Just a few laps, I guess.
One. Through turn 1 goes Nguyen.
Yellow, he still has some laps left on his belt, so maybe he could cause an upset in the top 3.
Still 18 more minutes left in this session.
Yeah, the session is gonna be done way before we actually complete the hour mark, because we have so few drivers left. Kupak fails to improve by the narrowest of margins. Doesn't have a checkered flag quite just yet. He's gonna keep going for a little longer. Into Sandanato. And now into Luco. And into Poggio Secco. As Tomaselli's gone into 15th fastest. Exactly 1 second behind Curtis. I felt there, Joe. Videri 16th, Watzel 19th.
Somebody interrupted me there.
Alright.
As so still just over 17 minutes to go then in the session. As we look at Kupak, not improving at the moment at this point in time. Currently lies 13th position.
One of the only 3 drivers not to have the checkered flag. One of the only 4, sorry, not to have the checkered flag just yet.
Galloway's just got the pit symbol and he's now just come back out, in fact, so that might be the final run for the 2016 Formula E champion. So,
looks like it.
Yep. And here he is, speaking of which, currently P3 at this point in time. As we look at Nguyen now then, and making their way in towards the right-hander. And now going through the flat-out left and right-hand as he goes, and he should be finishing the lap pretty soon now then. So there's Zorbach in the background there, then currently lying in 17th position.
Not a bad session for him. Of course, no points just yet on offer.
Videri goes up
for the day. Galloway's the only one left.
Yep. Galloway, the only one left to get a checkered flag, but there's still some cars currently out there at the moment, still free roaming at this point, as we have just under 16 minutes to go, so plenty of time for everybody to basically finish off.
Yeah, exactly. Nguyen still has a few laps left before he's gonna come in, so he could still snatch an improvement there or thereabouts.
Going now then towards the left and right-hander. And he's down on his personal best in the second sector. My first sector, what am I on about?
Yeah. Into Arrabbiata he goes.
Kupak goes up to 12th place in the Rapax, just getting in front of Anderson and Belanek. Speaking
Suarez
of
is
Giroud,
held up. Towards Corinthians.
God, why did they say Giroud's Berenek's in the Campos? Jesus Christ. So they're going now then, 8 tenths off Curtis in the middle sector as we look from the side view of Davi Suarez at this point.
Elnot Cam could say, and very interesting camera there. Davi Suarez won 1 race last season in Malaysia, and yeah.
About to overtake the Giroud there, you just saw there.
Just barely fails to improve.
As we look at Curtis now then, the man currently at the top of the timing sheets with a 127.497 at this point in time, 1/10 clear of Daniel Adventure. And the first set to, he's 1 second off his personal best. So clearly the lap he had a little bit earlier was a brilliant lap.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's been able to match him. Adventure's got a little close, but still, Curtis has been incredibly fast today. And now, speaking of which, Galloway has got a checkered flag. So,
so they've all now got the checkered flags next to their name, so they'll all be finishing off very, very soon once they get the pit symbol on their def panels. So
yeah, just gonna have to wait for them to pit. That's all, and that's all.
Now, through turns 10 and 11 goes Nguyen, the Mercedes liveried Dam's car, as he makes his way down towards the right-hander. And
out of Corinthians he goes into Bionetti. Or Biondetti, I think it was. Not the exact name, but you know. Now out of Buccini goes Davi Suarez. Is this the last lap for him before he comes in next lap? Or will he go for another run? He will go for another run. If Federi's improved to 15 passes in front of Tomatelli. And same time as Beranek.
I was just going to say that Beranek and Federi have the same time, but of course Beranek in front of Federi on the basis that Beranek set the time first.
Also, Suarez and Fosbury the same lap. And as I got a phone call, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll continue on from this point until the phone call is finished. As they're going now then, making his way down towards turns 4 and 5 on the circuit, currently finding himself in 7th place at this point in time, and not on an improvement on this point in time. Still roaming around at this point in time. Of course, he does have the checker flag next to his name, as does all the drivers, and so probably in about a few laps' time, we could be seeing him pitting. Maybe even next lap, maybe even 2 laps. We'll have to wait and see what the Vietnamese driver does. As now Gowan comes around turns 10 and 11, where of course Bennett made his little error a little bit earlier on the racetrack. Now then, 8 tenths down on Curtis now in the second sector, as he'll be approaching the final 3 corners on the track very, very soon through the flat out left and right-handers for the Blendetti corners. I think I pronounced that right. I probably butchered it. We're seeing now then, and let's see what Gowan can do. Probably not going to improve, but the Mercedes liveried Campos is going to cross the line very soon. And he's now got the pit symbol. So that was Nguyen's last flying lap, and he'll be returning to the pits to complete his session at this point in time. And he just makes his way out of turn 1. So that's that at this moment. It's now making their way down towards turns 4 and 5. It's spectator cam, Nguyen. It's not Nguyen, JP. It's a spectator cam, so it just goes on random cars. As through the right hander we go. Up the hill. And he'll be soon coming into the pits very, very soon. There's still a few more cars out on the track. Just looking at the dots on the mini map, I think we're looking at I think that's 8 cars on the circuit. Soon be 7 once Nguyen comes into the pits, as Nguyen makes his way through the fast right-hander there. Then he'll go flat through the turns 13 and 14. And we'll see him flick to the pit as soon as he comes out of this final corner now then. And he'll soon flick to the right.
And I'm back.
There he goes. Nguyen into the pits, and his session is done, as is somebody else's in front. And in fact, there were a few cars that went into pits that time. So there's only 3 cars left on the circuit.
Yep, exactly. One of them I assume is Galloway, unless I'm wrong.
To wait and see. Suarez is one of those guys, as is Galloway, yes, you are right there, and whoever the guy is in front. It is Christoph Bonet, but he's coming in, so only 2 cars left on the track, which are Galloway and Suarez.
Yep, and speaking of Galloway, fails to improve, but we'll have at least one more run.
As he now makes his way towards turn 1 on the track. As see how his sector 1 fares. And he's 5 tenths down in the first sector, 4 tenths off his personal best, so probably just getting a few race runs in at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Doesn't look like he'll be getting any more improvements today, so the top 3, well, the entire top 22 is pretty much set in stone, I guess.
Suarez still roaming around unless he's coming to the pits. No, his minimap's still going straight. His dot on the minimap's still going straight, so he'll be doing another lap. Whether that will be his last lap, I'm not sure. It's Galloway 1.2 seconds down in the middle sector, so yeah, this is probably just a race run at this point.
Agreed. Off the pace so far, but MP Motorsport have had a productive day once again. Not P1 this time, but P3, which is still pretty good. And Graf in 11th.
So Graf was able to find a little bit of pace towards the end, but still not up to the standard that he was yesterday at Silverstone, as Galloway will be doing another lap. So still be running. Yep. And just over 8 minutes now left in this preseason test, and cars still roaming around the track at this point in time.
Yep.
So for anybody wanting to know, at the moment, the leaderboard with 8 minutes to go: Curtis top, Adventure second, Galloway third, Bennett fourth, Zolga fifth, Chatfield in sixth with Nguyen in seventh, Suarez eighth, Fosbury ninth, Valdinger in 10th, Graf 11th, Kupak 12th, Anderson 13th, Baronet 14th, Federi 15th, Thomas Headley 16th, Zorbach 17th, Skillen 18th, Watzel 19th, Fasher in 20th, McCarthy 21st, and Burns in 22nd position at this point in time.
Yep, and that's the leaderboard, and I don't see any sign of it changing. As far as gonna have his final run up next or not. We'll find out very
He's
soon.
staying out on the track at the point in time. I've just seen the dot on the mini map. He's still out there at this point in time. He hasn't veered into the
Yellow
pit.
once again 1.2 seconds down. Just last sector left. I have a feeling this might be his last flying lap.
To wait and see as tripping down the gears there into the final corner. And Suarez is still doing another lap, so his session is not over with just yet.
And neither is Galloway's.
And he's pitting.
So Suarez will be the last one on the track.
That
Jake
was
Galloway. Yeah, Galloway had a productive day though. 3rd place. Good stuff for the rookie driver.
And he'll be hoping they can carry that momentum going into the season, which of course starts next week in Bahrain. So,
and if last season is any indication, when MP Motorsport won the first 2 races last season, can they do that again this season? Well, you can't take no for an answer just yet because anything can happen in Grand Prix racing, and it usually does.
Indeed, just like the good old Murray Walker said.
Yep.
I'll have to wait and see if history repeats itself. You know, no pressure there for Dennis and Jake, but we'll have to wait and see. And Suarez is about to cross the line now. Let's see if this will be his final lap. And yes, it will be. So the session is officially over.
Yep. And that's the final lap of the day. David Suarez, his in lap into the pits. We're looking at Jake Galloway now. He'll be boxing.
And we're just running aboard with him. We'll see him flick through the pits very, very soon. And then we'll just wait for Suarez. And that will be session done and dusted.
Yep.
To the pits now goes Galloway. And that will be him done for the day.
He's done. And now we're looking at Suarez one last time in Savelli. And out of Casanova. In Savelli now. Final time it will be here in Arrabbiata corner. So let's enjoy it. David Suarez. Wide on the curb there now, hits the apex on the second Arrabbiata. Now towards Scarperia and into Palagio for a final time. And now sector 2 complete. Guarentayo's up next for the last time in God knows how long. How long it will be until we'll be back in Mugello with any of the categories, I don't know. But we'll be back someday, I'm sure. David Suarez. Buccini is the only corner left for this preseason testing before the actual OC GP2 season starts. And now there's that last corner. Only the pit lane entry to go. And GP2 testing is officially over right now. There's comes into the pit lane.
Yep, so as a result, the final leaderboard, well, I'll probably read them out a little bit later on, but Curtis...
Yeah, we'll read them later.
But as a result, Curtis has topped the final day of testing.
Number 1, Maki Sekuri, so fanboy Aaron Curtis is the fastest driver today, so kudos to him. He's done amazing, and it's been a good performance. Sadly, I don't think anyone can join us for an interview right now. I asked in the chat, and I didn't exactly get a reply, so unfortunately, I'm not going to be having any interview now. What we'll be having is reading you guys the results. So Aaron Curtis fastest with Daniel Venture in 2nd. Jay Galloway 3rd in MP Motorsport, followed by Bennett in 4th. Banzolga 5th. Chris Chaplin in 6th place, good result for him. And from Hong Min Nguyen, Brad Fosbury in 8th. David Suarez in 9th place, the last one to complete a lap. Mens Wallinger in 10th. Dennis Graff in 11th, the man fastest yesterday. And you can do the second half of the results, Joe.
Okay, David Kupak in 12th with Thomas Anderson 13th, Christoph Berenek in 14th, then it is Andre Paderi 15th, Alessandro Tomaselli in 16th, Nicolas Zorbach 17th, Max Skillen in 18th, Henry Watson 19th, Isaac Fashery 20th, Chuck McCarthy in 21st, and Carl Burns rounding out the field in 22nd and last 1.664 seconds off of Aaron Curtis.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe. This was a pretty interesting session. We had some action, we had some crashes, we had some racing. Well, we had one crash, but still. It was a pretty entertaining test, don't you say? And I enjoyed it a lot.
Indeed, and it's a very odd fact as well. Both the sessions have been topped by graduates. Obviously, yesterday we had Dennis Graff top the session. He's a Formula E graduate, and today Aaron Curtis tops it, and he's a DTM graduate. So
yeah, good effort for him.
Good day for the graduates all round, to be honest.
Yeah, and Galloway as well. He was 3rd today, and yeah, next time we see you guys, if you're not here for the commentary, if you're here for the racing, we'll be tomorrow for the Australian Grand Prix in the top class with a Mercedes, Ferrari top 3 on the grid. But yeah, besides that, the next time you'll see us for GP2 will be next week actually for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I'm sure it's gonna be one hell of a race, just like it was last season when Chuck McCarthy grabbed his first ever victory on his debut, just barely beating out Bruno de Barros, even though he had a penalty. So yeah, but until then, I've been Robert Ionescu.
I've been Joseph Willows.
And this has been the GP2 testing, over and out. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.